Hello everyone, Walk Hill Bethelite here, and I have a kingdom melody for you, and it goes like this. Now I don't have the music, but this is the gist of it. Not of our own might can we be Bethelites, not of ourselves can we remain at Bethel. But when we jack our dicks and we bust our nuts, we can be victorious. Forward we go, fearlessly go. The whole Bethel family knows they be in there busting nuts. Masturbate your dicks and bust your nuts, and then you remain at Bethel. And what brings that song to mind is, I'm copywriting that, by the way. What brings that song to mind is the whole thing with Pillowgate. I really don't know if the issue of masturbation at Bethel came out as a major thing until like Pillowgate, until the video came out about, you know, people rubbing their dicks up against their pillows and things like that. And I don't really think people understand the entire situation. Of course, that sort of thing is funny when you're talking about an organization making a video telling members of the Bethel family, y'all can't rub y'all dicks up against your pillows. And just one tidbit of information, a lot of that laundry, the laundry goes to the laundry room, and some of that laundry has got your room number so that they know where that, you know, those things are coming from and whatnot, or your housekeeper comes and gets those things. I know my clothes had my room number and all kinds of stuff on the back of it so that, you know, when you sent your stuff to the laundry, they knew how to get it back to you. I'm sure there are plenty of housekeepers who have gone into people's rooms and found nut. I'm sure Lennon has gone to the laundry room at Bethel where people have worked. I was in the laundry room for a period of time, and there's nut on the laundry. I mean, you can't mistake sheets with nut all on them unless you think people were eating cereal and spilled milk all on their sheets before they sent them down to the laundry room to get them washed, because how else are they finding out that people are jacking off at Bethel unless Bethelites are sitting down talking to Bethel elders about their, you know, episode of jacking off last night. Matter of fact, jacking off should be considered personal study at Bethel. It should just be a part of your personal study. It should be in your part of your theocratic schedule to bust kingdom nuts. And the reason for that is I don't think a lot of people fully grasp the situation at Bethel. People may think of Bethelites jacking off as these kids coming into Bethel and they're all up there beating off. That may or may not be the case, but that's not what I'm trying to bring attention to. People don't oftentimes understand that Bethel, regardless of how long you've been there, may or may not let you bring a wife there. So you have people at Bethel who are very serious about their career in the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. As far as moving up, most of the governing body members have served at Bethel at some point. So a Bethelite knows there's possibility to be GB, to be in the governing body, if they serve at Bethel a long period of time. If they remain in full-time service a long period of time, oftentimes including remaining at Bethel. So there are people who have been at Bethel 10 plus years and don't have a wife. I remember sitting in the dining room, eating with a guy, sitting there, he was sitting there full suit on, eating with the guy. I mean, he looked like he had to be, I mean, I was in my 20s at the time. He looked like he had to be like 46 or something. I don't know exactly how old he was. He had a mustache, and most of the hairs in his mustache was gray. He looked older, and he had been at Bethel for forever. And he did not have a wife. When this whole Pillowgate and people busting nuts all throughout Bethel, when that information hit the public, I've known about it, of course, because I've been at Bethel. Now, when I first got to Bethel, of course, that's not something that you think happens. Because when you first get to Bethel, you don't fully understand what you have gotten yourself into. You are in a situation where there's favoritism. Some people get wives, and typically those tend to be some of the more beautiful women throughout the whole organization. I mean, I've seen guys with wives who were Native American, and they're literally sitting at the Bethel family watchtower study, and the woman is next to them in her moccasins and Native American, clothing and all kinds of stuff. You see all kinds of exotic women and beautiful women everywhere throughout Bethel. Everyone does not get that, though. Everyone doesn't get married. Everyone doesn't get accepted back if they reapply as a couple. So what you have to understand, and I came to an understanding because I was the person will remain nameless, but I was in a room with somebody who had been at Bethel for a long time. And it didn't really occur to me, how does a person work around all these women? And you see them every day. Heck, they're your housekeepers. How does a person work around all these women for years and years and years, and he ain't had sex? Because either you had sex and you got kicked out of Bethel, or you done snuck around and y'all are off in a closet somewhere, which I've seen some questionable things. I've seen a closet door open. When I was working in the infirmary, my schedule was different. I had a schedule that was different from your average Bethel schedule when I was working in the infirmary. Sometimes I had to stay overnight. And I remember going down the stairs and seeing the door open from just like a closet or conference room. And there was this Bethelite. This guy was fast walking up out of there. He was fast walking and damn near started running. I mean, he fast walked, I would say about good 10 steps, and then damn near just started running. And then there was this woman that came out, and she just came out strutting. The Bethelite was like a newish Bethelite, like a kid. Like this kid was like 19, 20, something like that. And the woman was older. She probably was like 30 something. And she came, so you see stuff, and it's kind of open to interpretation as to what happened. I just know that the woman saw me because she's, strutting out of the room like it wasn't nothing. I'm coming down the stairs. Yeah, we crossed paths. And she knew I saw that. And probably for like the next week, you know, she kind of looked at me whenever she would see me. She would kind of look at me in somewhat of a concerned fashion. You know what I mean? And I think thinking back on it today, it's kind of like, are you going to say something type of a situation? But yes, you have people having sex at Bethel. Yes, the Watchtower and Awake and publications that you're reading were made by hands that have been beating meat. Fact. They may or may not have washed their hands before they finished making the watchtowers. I'm talking people who are, and you all know, if you've gone to the Bethel tours, you all know that the people who work in the printery, printing the watchtowers, making the books, the publications, the Bibles, those people are on the tour route. Meaning, you got guys that ain't had no pussy in 20 years. You got guys that are straight up virgins. Let's take the whole they ain't had pussy in 20 years away. You got guys working there for free at Bethel who are virgins, and they've been virgins for 10, 20 years. They are on the tour route, meaning every woman. I'm talking about, we had women coming from Japan. We had women coming from Australia. We had women coming to tour Bethel from every part of the world. You're sitting there watching them walk past, and some of them want to marry a Bethelite. So they're dressed really nice, as in dresses that show the shape of that ass and everything. You are watching that day in and day out. Every day you see these women. And you got guys in there that are really serious about staying at Bethel. The only damn way Bethel is getting all this free labor without all these people who ain't allowed to have wives, bolting, leaving. The only way Bethel is getting this free labor from these people who have been there 10 plus years and don't have no wife is jacking off. On their break, they probably don't even go to lunch sometimes. They probably see a woman walk by and they watching that ass go by. And when it's break time, they probably go to their room and beat the hell out of that meat. They beat the fuck out of that meat. And then they go back to work after they've relieved themselves. Because you cannot, you got to think of these people as human beings. People think about Bethelites as if they're freaking angels. You can't be on the damn tour route and you got all these guys that work on the printery and all these women walking by. You can't have all these guys on the printer working with people, cameras and everything, and all their dicks are on hard. They can't be all on hard all the time. So they should not have made that video about people rubbing their dicks on their pillows or whatever it is that they do to make it through the day. Because Bethel is benefiting. If people wasn't jacking off, and here's the thing, you know it's bad when you have these rooms and these rooms are super small. Like your whole room, there's no place you can go to get away from your roommate. You know it's bad when you got people that's been there 10 plus years. And I was in a room with somebody. They'll remain nameless, but I was in the room and I'm sleeping on my little bedroll, and I don't know what time it was at night, but I mean, we're both in bed, lights out, and all I hear is, "Oh," and then he yells somebody's name, which I remember the name to this day, but I won't reveal that. It's kind of hard to forget something like that. If somebody has an orgasm out of the blue at Bethel, and I hadn't even been to Bethel, I don't think 2 months before that had happened. So, yeah, I'm in the twilight zone, like, what the heck is going on? This is Bethel. Your average Jehovah's Witness does not know that these people, a lot of them, have not had sex in 10 plus years. It don't even have to be 10 plus years. It could be 5 plus years. It can just be their whole life they ain't had sex before. And this is Bethel, meaning all you do is work, and during lunch, see all the most beautiful women in the world coming to tour. And if your job is on the tour route, like the printery was, because I did tours, and you got to walk through the whole printery, point everything out, tell them all what's going on. That means that you have not had sex in your entire life, and all you do is make Bibles and magazines and look at women all day. So of course they jacking off at Bethel. Of course they're jacking off. How else do Jehovah's Witnesses think that they get all these books and publications that they're passing out all around the world? Jacking off. That's how you got it. Because if people weren't jacking off, they would leave. There's no damn way. If there was some way they could literally prevent people from jacking off at Bethel, they're not going to be there 5 plus years. You can't make it that damn long. Dick on hard, just walking throughout the facility. Dick on hard all during morning worship. Just wake up. Some people wake up, dick on hard. How many Bethelites do you think? I'm talking, there are multiple facilities. Warwick, Patterson, Wallkill. How many of all these Bethelites do you think wake up dick on hard? It's just, it's not a sin. It's just normal human function for some people. Wake up, dick on hard. What are you going to do? Walk to morning worship? Dick pointing the way? Dick directing the way to morning worship? I'm talking hard dick. I don't know if you've been on hard before and it been in public. I mean, it's fucking noticeable as hell. I'm talking on hard where you stand up and your pants is just, it's like, you know, a fist coming through your pants. Everybody just gonna be late to morning worship there. I mean, what else are they gonna do? But back to my original point, at first I thought it was insane that somebody's at Bethel and I'm in the damn room. I'm like, excuse me, I'm in the damn room. I thought it was crazy for somebody to be at Bethel and to have just beat their meat and had a whole damn orgasm where they lose their mind during this damn orgasm and call out this person's name with me sitting right there. I don't know if they thought I was asleep. I don't know what they thought. But after spending some time at Bethel, you get to start to understand. Yeah, there's no way this facility works without people jacking off. They don't have money. They can't really go out like that. Unless there's girls at your congregation, the girls that are there at Bethel, most of them are married. The 97% of them are married and super hot. The girls that you see on tour, I mean, you can't really just stop working and just start asking for numbers. It puts people in a very awkward situation where you got guys waiting for assemblies. You're straight up, literally, you got guys waiting for assemblies to see if they can find somebody to get a number. And it's not about really finding a mate so much as sexual tension. They trying to fuck. The reality. Let's talk the reality. The reality is Bethel would have to pay people. For Bethel to be working people for free, and Bethel's so cheap, they won't even let people bring wives. And if you've been working at Bethel 5, 10 plus years and you find somebody that you love and you want to marry them, it should just be automatic that you can just bring her in. But Bethel's so cheap, they won't even let some people do that. I know a guy, I did a video back in the past about a guy who had been at Bethel for a long time. He introduces us all to his fiance, and then come to find out they didn't get accepted. I mean, people, let's talk about the reality. Yes, people at Bethel beat the hell out of that meat. Women at Bethel, they will find a room. They be fucking at Bethel. Let's just talk the reality of it. When I was training to be in the infirmary, there was a woman that was training me, and we were in a private room. I was the only one training. And one of the days the woman came in, her blouse was so damn wide open. I'm sitting here, she's sitting here, her blouse was so wide open, I saw that whole titty. There ain't no damn way she didn't know. There ain't no damn way she worked that day and walked all the way into that conference room and sat down not knowing her whole damn titty out. Those women are around all those young 19, 20-year-old, 21, 24-year-old men, fresh men. And of course, yeah, I'm in my 20s and she's probably, I don't know, 30 plus, 40, whatever, still look good. Now, did I fuck her? Did I bang? No. When I came to Bethel, I was serious. I was hardcore. I saw that titty, and then I turned around, and I just faced forward. Just face forward. So, that sort of thing is not going to work for 5, 10 plus years. So my thought on that whole Pillowgate thing is Bethel shouldn't have said anything. Y'all are benefiting off the backs of people working for free, and they signed a vow of poverty. They didn't sign, to my knowledge, I don't remember no vow of chastity. Beating off, jacking off at Bethel should just be considered personal study. They weren't beating off, they were studying. That's what they were doing. When they bust them kingdom nuts, they're just personal study. It should just be a part. If you're a Bethelite, Bethel should be like, okay, we're making all this money off all these people who ain't had sex, even though you got people in the governing body who are dating all these young women. They should have just let it go. They should have been like, yeah, we're benefiting from this. Let's make special rooms special rooms for Bethelites to go in there and just jack off. Bust nuts for the kingdom. Preaching work. Dead serious. They should make the rooms for people so that they can keep them there, where they can bust nuts for the kingdom. Bust nuts for Jehovah. That's what they should have rooms, and that's what should be on the window. Jehovah's Kingdom meat beating. It's not a meeting, it's a meat beating. That's what it is. But that's just the honest truth, is that Bethelites are beating the fuck out they dicks. I don't know. The only women there that tend to be single are the nurses. And them nurses got guys after them like you would not believe. So if they're remaining there and they're not fucking, yeah, they're jacking off. There's no other way. You might have a few people with the willpower to just go their whole life, ain't never had sex, complete virgins, see beautiful women throughout Bethel all damn day, not just other people's wives, but freaking tourists coming through and just never jack off. You may have a few people, meaning the vast majority of Bethel bussin' kingdom nuts up in there. Jehovah's Witnesses in general are a lot of times pretty sexually repressed, meaning a lot of single guys, I can't speak for the woman, I'm not a woman. A lot of the single guys, when they're going to the assembly and they got all these binoculars, they looking the fuck. That's the truth, honest truth. Bethel, the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, will not let the people that work for them for 10 plus years have a wife. They ain't got no other way but beating meat, jacking all the fuck off, and then going and making the watchtowers and Bibles. Half the stuff y'all read probably got nut on it. Jehovah's Witnesses in general, sexually repressed. They get married just to have sex. They go to assemblies just to check out some ass and just to try to fuck. That's the whole purpose. Yeah, they come for some of the spiritual food, but they also want some of that spiritual pussy. So comment down below. Let me know what you think. It's just the truth. Let's just face the truth. Jehovah's Witnesses walk around in some kind of a fucking dream world. The reality is, yes, people are jacking off at Bethel. A lot of people go to assemblies to meet women because they want to fuck. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. 937-789-4029. X Wallkill Bethelite signing out.